We're going to talk about a couple of crypto stocks about to hit the public markets. First up, Bitcoin Depot, Bitcoin ATM operator pursuing a SPAC deal worth about $0.885 billion. That's cool. Second of all, WonderFi, Canadian DeFi platform formerly listed in Toronto, now also being listed on Nasdaq. It's called WonderFi in a nod to Mr. Wonderful. Look at that guy's big head right there. We're talking about Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. That's the actual size of his head. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about two stocks about to hit the markets. The stock markets haven't been especially kind to crypto stocks over the last, 8 months or so. But we're going to have a couple others that are going to enter the scene, and it's going to be curious to see how they ultimately perform. Will, I'm going to toss it to you. What are your thoughts on seeing more crypto stocks hit the market?
Yeah, I like the last question you just led with there. What's going to happen to these stocks as we go into a bear market? And is it better to list during a bear market than it is during a bull market? I think Coinbase, its listing in April 2021, is probably the best example we have of what a stock should look like during a bull market and the consequences of listing during a bull market. It hit a peak in November of 2021, I think almost $400 per share. And since then, it's been only down, and it keeps nosediving down. I think it hit a low about $52 a few weeks back. Since then, we've been trading pretty choppy for it, and that's expected, right? It's basically just following along with a lot of other tech stocks. We've seen a lot of the air come out of these crypto stocks. No one really cares about them anymore. The sentiment's gone, basically falling Bitcoin price. And so for these other stocks that are coming to the market right now, they're basically coming to depressed market where everything is based on some sort of acknowledgement of fundamentals, but still people are trying to figure out what a crypto fundamental is in the first place. Is it transactions? Is it coins? Is it user adoption? People are still trying to figure that out. And so what we're going to see, I think, over the next 2 years, or as long as the bear market persists, is people trying to analyze these new crypto stocks that are coming to market. Zach, back to you.
I like the idea of these stocks being a proxy bet on certain sectors of the crypto economy, right? So you have Bitcoin ATMs. If I'm an investor in the traditional markets and I'm saying, okay, hey, I think Bitcoin ATMs are really going to take off. They're going to be in every Walmart before you know it, and people are going to use these things. I can, use this particular stock to express that opinion, right? Similarly with WonderFi, right? It's a trading marketplace, a platform for buying crypto and selling crypto. If I think that the exchange model is looking good for the forward, for the immediate term trajectory, I can make that bet through the public markets. It's interesting to me to watch sort of traditional investor sentiment latch itself onto these stocks, as we had seen with MicroStrategy, right? Which became famously sort of this Bitcoin proxy stock in lieu of a traditional Bitcoin ETF in US markets. MicroStrategy also not doing especially hot right now. So maybe the timing is right for some of these firms to hit the public markets rather than launching with lofty expectations. And then, as we saw with Coinbase, cratering pretty significantly thereafter. Jen, curious for your thoughts though.
Yeah, I think crypto companies going public, it brings more visibility and credibility to the industry. I think there's just more transparency when there's a public company versus a private company. I think, though, what is important to say is that regardless of a crypto company going public, they could still face regulatory scrutiny. It doesn't guarantee that they're going to be around a year from now. I mean, we saw this Coinbase went public and they've still had a lot of run-ins with the SEC. So if you're thinking about investing in shares in any of these companies, it's still really important to do your research and understand the risk that you are getting into. Going public doesn't mean smooth sailing for the foreseeable future. But Will, what do you got?
Yeah, I got to get the mining angle in there since there's so many mining stocks and I do mining media for a living. So a lot of these public companies that are crypto over the last 2 years have been mining companies. And what we've seen with them is actually an attempt to sort of pump their stock prices and not always be very truthful. So a lot of times they put out these public information about how much Bitcoin they're mining or how much energy they're pulling, or maybe some sort of greenwashing with ESG rather. Basically, it's to pump the price of their stock often. And so I don't always know if it is more transparent or more visible just because you go public.
That's true.
So I'm curious to see if that continues and if public markets can really figure this out, right? Are they able to wade through all the information, reading through all this new info about Bitcoin that is probably pretty new for a lot of stock analysis out there, if they're able to accurately understand what the valuation of a company is?